Most people still think search works the way it always did. You type a question, Google gives you a list of links. You click a few results, compare the information, read different opinions, and make your own decision. But that habit is starting to shift. More people are now asking AI systems for the answer directly. Instead of sending users to 10 different pages, the AI may summarize the topic, compare the options, give a suggested direction, and sometimes show sources along the way. For the person searching, that feels faster. For creators, marketers, bloggers, SEO professionals, freelancers, and online businesses, it creates a much bigger question. What happens when people stop discovering content mainly by clicking through search results and start discovering information through generated answers? That is the real shift behind AI search. The old question was, can people find my content on Google? The new question is, can an AI system understand my content well enough to summarize it, cite it, recommend it, or use it as part of an answer? That one change may affect almost everything about content discovery. Because AI search is not just a new search box. It is a move from search results toward answer engines. Instead of asking users to do all the research themselves, tools like Google AI Overviews, Google AI Mode, ChatGPT Search, Perplexity, Gemini, and Copilot are trying to turn scattered information into a more direct response. That does not mean websites are dead. It does not mean SEO is dead. And it does not mean creators should stop publishing. But it does mean the rules around visibility are changing. Publishing more content is not enough by itself. The content that matters most may be the content that is clear, specific, trustworthy, and useful enough for both humans and AI systems to understand. So the story is not that AI search is replacing content. The real story is that AI search may change which content gets noticed, which content gets ignored, and which creators become part of the answer. This matters now because AI search has moved beyond a small experiment. Google is building AI directly into search. OpenAI has added search inside ChatGPT. Perplexity has built its product around conversational answers with sources. And users are getting more comfortable asking longer, more specific questions inside AI tools. That changes the shape of search itself. A user may no longer type something short like AI SEO tools. Instead, they may ask, what is the best way for a small creator to use AI search optimization without hiring an agency? That question is not just a keyword. It includes context, it includes intent, it includes a budget concern, it includes a desired outcome. Traditional search can still help with that, but AI search tries to answer the whole question at once. For users, that can save time. For creators and businesses, it creates both opportunity and risk. The opportunity is that a smaller brand, niche expert, creator, or website may become visible if its content is useful enough to appear in AI-generated answers. The risk is that even strong content may receive fewer clicks if the AI gives users enough information before they visit the original page. That is why SEO professionals and content creators are paying attention. They are not only competing for rankings anymore. They may also be competing for inclusion, citations, summaries, and trust inside AI-generated responses. And this connects directly to AI agents, automation, and online business. Once search becomes conversational, the next step is not just finding information. The next step is taking action. A user does not only ask, "What should I read?" They ask the AI to compare tools, build a workflow, summarize competitors, create a content plan, draft an email, or prepare a strategy. So discovery is no longer just about being found. It is about being useful inside the workflow where the decision is being made. To see why that matters, think about how online discovery used to work. For years, the process was fairly simple. A user typed a keyword into Google. Google showed ranked results. The user clicked one or more pages. Websites competed for those clicks. SEO was built around that journey. If you were a blogger, you tried to rank for keywords. If you were a business, you tried to appear for commercial searches. If you were a creator, you studied trends, competitors, and search demand. Then you created content that could show up, earn the click, and keep the visitor engaged. That system had problems, but at least the path was familiar. The users still had to do the work. They opened tabs, compared opinions, checked sources, judged credibility, and built their own conclusion. AI search compresses that process. Instead of only organizing the web, the system tries to explain the web. Instead of only showing pages, it may summarize what those pages say. Instead of making the user manually compare everything, it may produce a direct answer, a recommendation, a checklist, or a step-by-step plan. That is useful, but it also changes the role of content. In traditional search, a page competed for a click. In AI search, a page may compete to become a cited source, a summarized insight, a recommended brand, or a trusted reference inside the answer itself. That is why terms like AISEO, GEO, answer engine optimization, and AI visibility are becoming more common. Some of the language around this is still new. Some of the hype is probably exaggerated, but the underlying shift is real. People are asking AI systems for answers, and those systems need sources, context, entities, and structured knowledge to create useful responses. There is one key point to understand. AI search is not one single product. Google's AI search experience is not exactly the same as ChatGPT Search. Perplexity is different from Gemini. Copilot is different again. Each system may retrieve information differently, summarize differently, and decide what to show in a different way. So the practical goal is not to chase one magic algorithm. The better goal is to create content that is useful, trustworthy, easy to understand, and strong enough to survive being summarized. AI search usually starts with a question, but that question is often more detailed than a traditional keyword. A person might ask for a comparison, a strategy, a recommendation, or an explanation. The AI system then tries to understand what the person really wants. It may break the question into smaller parts. It may look for relevant information. It may compare sources. It may summarize the most useful points. Then it gives an answer in a format that feels easier to use than a page of links. The answer might be a short explanation, a comparison, a checklist, a table, or a plan. Sometimes it includes citations or source links. Sometimes the source visibility is less clear. That matters because AI search is not only matching keywords, it is trying to understand meaning. And that makes generic content weaker. A page that only repeats basic definitions may not add much value. But a page with clear explanations, original examples, updated context, and practical use cases is more useful to both people and AI systems. Still, nobody can guarantee that a page will appear in an AI answer. These systems are complex, they change over time. Different platforms may use different methods. A brand may appear in one AI search experience and not appear in another. So this is not a simple formula, it is not a trick, and it is not something anyone fully controls from the outside. Human judgment still matters at every stage. AI can summarize sources, but it can miss nuance. It can cite sources, but the final answer may not always reflect those sources perfectly. It can compare tools, but features, pricing, and availability can change. It can suggest a workflow, but it may not understand your audience, your business model, your brand voice, or your risk tolerance. So the practical approach is not to let AI search think for you. The practical approach is to use AI search to speed up research, then verify, refine, and apply human judgment. For creators and marketers, that distinction is critical. AI search can help you see what people are asking, what answers already exist, what gaps are visible, and how a topic is being framed, but it cannot replace your positioning. It cannot replace your examples. It cannot replace your experience. And it cannot replace your editorial standards. The real value is not the tool by itself. The real value is the workflow you build around it. Take ISEO research as an example. The traditional workflow usually starts with keyword tools, search volume, competition scores, and manual search result analysis. Those things still matter. But AI search adds another layer. Instead of only asking, what keywords have search volume? You can ask, what questions are people likely to ask when they want a complete answer? That changes the research process. You can study how AI systems summarize a topic. You can look at what kinds of sources they mention. You can notice which angles are missing. You can see what kind of explanation feels actually useful. The realistic outcome is better topic mapping. A topic like AI search optimization is not just one keyword. It may include questions about citations, brand mentions, structured content, expert examples, comparison pages, product documentation, and content freshness. But manual checking is still required. You still need to verify search demand. You still need to check competitor quality. You still need to confirm the facts. Content planning is another area where this changes the workflow. The older process often started with a spreadsheet of keywords. A creator picked a keyword, wrote an article or script, and hoped it ranked. AI search pushes the process closer to intent. Instead of making generic content about best AI search tools, a creator could build a clearer piece explaining when to use traditional Google search, when to use ChatGPT Search, when to use Perplexity, and when AI search may not be enough. That kind of content is more useful because it helps the viewer make a decision. The result is not just more content. It is better positioned content, but it still needs a point of view. AI can help with structure, but it cannot automatically create trust. YouTube topic research works the same way. The old process was often to look at trending videos, copy patterns, and chase high-click topics. That can help you understand attention, but it can also create repetitive content. AI search can help reveal the deeper tension behind a topic. For example, the tension here is not simply AI search is new. The stronger tension is, what happens to creators when users get answers before they click? That is a much more useful angle because it connects the trend to a real fear, a real curiosity, and a practical reason to watch. But this also requires restraint. A serious AI channel should not say SEO is dead unless the evidence clearly supports it. A more credible message is that search behavior is changing and content strategy needs to change with it. For blog writing, the shift is also practical. The traditional process focused on ranking in Google. Writers added headings, included keywords, answered common questions, and tried to build authority. In the AI search era, blog content may also need to be easier to extract and summarize. That means clear definitions, direct explanations, original examples, updated information, strong structure. If a page is confusing for a human reader, it may also be difficult for an AI system to summarize correctly. If a page is generic, it may not bring much value to an AI answer. This does not guarantee AI visibility, but it improves content quality in a way that helps across multiple channels. Clear pages are easier for people to read and easier for systems to interpret. Competitor research is another useful example. Traditionally, this was slow and manual. You opened competitor websites, read their pages, checked their keywords, and compared their positioning. AI search can make pattern recognition faster. It can help summarize how a topic is being explained, which brands appear in certain answers, and where the gaps may be. But again, it needs review. AI may miss newer pages. It may misunderstand a competitor's positioning. It may summarize outdated information. The value is speed, not blind trust. For freelancers, this creates a realistic service opportunity. Businesses may need help understanding how they appear in AI search, how their content is summarized, what gaps exist, and how to build stronger content for both humans and AI systems. But this should be sold carefully. A credible freelancer should not promise, "I will get your brand recommended in every AI answer." A more realistic offer is to improve the clarity, freshness, usefulness, and structure of a company's content so it performs better across traditional search, AI search, and human readers. Automation builders can also use AI search as part of a research system. You can build workflows that monitor topics, summarize changes, collect sources, draft content briefs, and flag competitor patterns that can make research operations faster. But automation does not remove responsibility. A bad automated research system can spread outdated claims faster than a human ever could. So where does AI search fit compared with the old way? Traditional search is still useful when you want many options, direct sources, local results, shopping comparisons, or full control over what you open and read. It gives users more visibility into the list of results, even if the user still has to do the work. AI search is useful when you want synthesis. It can explain a topic, compare options, summarize information, and turn scattered research into a clearer starting point. But it also adds a layer between the user and the original source. That layer is powerful, but it is not perfect. Compared with manual SEO, AI search makes keyword-only thinking weaker. Traditional SEO often asks, "Can this page rank for this query?" AI visibility asks, "Is this content useful enough to be included in an answer?" Those two questions are connected, but they are not the same. Compared with a chatbot without search, AI search can be more connected to current information when web access is available. A normal chatbot may rely on its training data and reasoning. A search-enabled AI system can retrieve newer information and include sources when the tool supports it. Compared with human research, AI search is faster at gathering and summarizing information. But humans are still better at judgment, nuance, storytelling, strategy, positioning, and accountability. AI can summarize a market. A skilled human decides what matters, what to ignore, and how to turn that research into a useful message. That is the part many people overlook. AI search does not remove the need for content. It raises the standard for content. If your content is thin, generic, outdated, or hard to understand, AI search may compress it into nothing. But if your content is specific, credible, and genuinely useful, it has a better chance of becoming part of the answer ecosystem. Now, before anyone builds an entire strategy around AI search, there is a serious limitation to understand. Nobody fully controls these systems from the outside. You can improve your content, you can make it clearer, you can update old pages, you can add better examples, you can build stronger authority. You can structure your information better. But you cannot force Google AI overviews, ChatGPT Search, Perplexity, Gemini, or Copilot to cite you. That is why the hype around AI SEO can become dangerous. Some people will try to sell it like a simple hack. Add a few tags, change a few headings, mention your brand in a certain way. Suddenly, AI will recommend you everywhere. That is not a serious strategy. A more realistic strategy is to improve the signals that make content valuable anywhere: clarity, authority, originality, accuracy, freshness, structure, and usefulness. Accuracy is another major limitation. AI search can be wrong. It can summarize a source incorrectly. It can combine information from different contexts. It can miss important details. It can make an answer sound confident even when the topic is uncertain. This is especially risky with fast-changing topics. Product features, pricing, company announcements, tool availability, and search behavior can all change. Even search-enabled AI can surface outdated or incomplete information. Source transparency is also a concern. Some AI search experiences show sources clearly. Others may make it harder to understand where the answer came from. If users do not check the sources, they may accept a summary that sounds right but is incomplete. Privacy matters too. When people use AI search like a research assistant, they may share more context than they would in a normal search box. Businesses using AI inside workflows need to think carefully about what information they upload, what tools they connect, and what data should stay private. There is also a quality problem. If everyone uses AI to produce the same average content, the web becomes more repetitive. And if the web becomes more repetitive, AI search has less original material to summarize, cite, or use. That creates a strange loop. AI-generated content feeding AI-generated answers. This is exactly why human experience becomes more valuable, not less. Original testing, real examples, expert interviews, practical workflows. Honest limitations and strong opinions are harder to replace than generic explanations. AI search may summarize information, but it still needs information worth summarizing. The biggest lesson is simple. Search is moving from pages of links toward layers of answers. That does not kill SEO. It changes what SEO has to pay attention to. It does not kill creators. It changes what creators need to create. It does not kill websites. It changes what websites need to prove. The old internet rewarded content that could rank. The AI search layer may reward content that can be trusted, understood, summarized, cited, and used inside a decision. For creators, the question is no longer only, what keyword am I targeting? The better question is, what question am I answering better than most people? What original value am I adding? What would make a human reader and an AI system trust this content? What examples, structure, or experience make this worth referencing? For marketers and SEO professionals, visibility may need to be tracked more broadly. Rankings still matter, but brand mentions, citations, answer inclusion, summaries, and topical authority may become more important over time. For freelancers and online business owners, this creates a practical opportunity. Businesses will need help understanding how they appear in AI search, how their content is summarized, what gaps exist, and how to build content that works across both traditional search and AI-driven discovery. But the smartest move is not to chase every new label. Do not build your strategy around hype words without understanding the principle underneath. Useful, credible, well-structured information becomes more important when machines are helping people decide what to read, trust, and do next. AI search is changing how people find content because it changes the first step of discovery. The user may not start with a click anymore. They may start with an answer. And if your brand, your content, or your expertise is missing from that answer, you may become invisible at the exact moment the user is making a decision. So the action step is not panic. The action step is to audit your content like an AI search system and a real human are reading it at the same time. Make it clearer, make it more specific, update weak sections, add real examples. Answer the next question, not just the first question. Build trust before you try to capture traffic. Because the future of search is not only about being found, it is about being useful enough to be included.